So this is another question where they provide you with a table. And if you look carefully, they mention something like one of the values is recorded incorrectly. So it's a very similar idea to question 1, except that now our variable is, our equation is something like this. And the challenge for this equation is they actually never tell you the capital Y and the capital X. So you actually need to do your own capital Y and capital X. So if you see that there is something in the power, that is where you need to take logarithm on both sides. So to answer part 1, you need to linearize. If you don't linearize, which is the step 1, so back to the same step. So the first step, I'm going to linearize first so that I can know my capital Y and capital X. So in this question, we need to insert log on both sides. After you insert log, I hope you remember that this is a product. So it's like A times BX. So if you still remember the logarithm rule, if it's a product, you will get a log plus log. So that's how I gotten a log plus log. And the log plus log will have a power X that I can actually bring down. Okay, so you need to perform some amount of logarithm. After that, you rearrange it a little bit, you will see that this part here is the gradient because it's attached to X. And this part here is your intercept. And your capital Y is LGY. And your capital X is the small x. So in this question, they never tell you the capital X and capital Y. You need to do the linearization yourself. So, but it's still the same step 1. After this, you need to create a new table based on your capital X and capital Y. So that is your step 2. Step 3, you need to draw. So the step doesn't change. Just follow the steps. Okay, after that, the question asks us to identify the incorrect value. So after I draw the graph, I need to determine which value of Y was recorded incorrectly. So what you should look out for will be the odd one out that is on your graph. So if you look at the one that's odd one out, you look carefully, it comes from X equal to 3. So you go back to your original table. Go back to your original table. So this value is wrong. Because this value is wrong, that's why this point turns out to be wrong. So the wrong value is actually 7880. Okay, then I'm supposed to, of course, later on you're asked to get the correct value. Okay, so I will skip part 3 first. I will go to part 4 first. So if I do know that this is the wrong value, the correct one should be lying on the graph. So you should read over. So when you read over, this is the value for LGY. So when you go and read over, okay, so this is the value. I think that I got a 2.9. So I got a 2.9. Okay, sorry, I think I wrote this wrongly. Okay, so LGY is supposed to be 2.9. So change it to your index notation. So don't forget, LG is base 10. So from here, you get the correct value. So the correct value should be 794 instead of 7880. So that's how we get the incorrect value and how we correct it from using the graph. Okay, then the next part that I have not gone through, part 3, I'm supposed to use my graph to determine A and B. What should you do? Get the gradient from the graph. So get any 2 points. Okay, so you get any 2 points, go and calculate the gradient. So I managed to get this gradient, and this gradient is representing LGB. So it's representing log B. So again, I switch the log out, and I will get 10 to the power 0.53. So I use the gradient from the graph because the gradient will tell me log B. And I also be using the intercept from the graph. The intercept that I gotten is here, which is a 1.3. So 1.3 is a representation of LGA. So again, I get rid of the log. I get 10 to the power 1.3. That's how I gotten my A. So the two features that you should use from your graph is your gradient and y-intercept. Can you see that the steps are the same? Step 1, linearize. Step 2, new table. Step 3, draw the graph. Step 4, from the graph, you must get the gradient and intercept to calculate the respective gradient and y-intercept. You got to keep repeating this step. If you don't keep repeating this step, you find that every graph question you will get stuck. So they are asking the same thing for almost every linear law question.